What's up, guys? Welcome back to Strongman Survival. I am Dave. Thank y'all for tuning in, watching. If this is your first time, please hit that like, subscribe, the follow, do all the things to help the algorithm push the videos a bit more. And you never know, it could help my chances of getting on a future season of Alone. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has been enjoying their weekend and has been having a relaxing Sunday. And yeah. So in this video, I'm going to show y'all from a survivalist standpoint the proper ways of using a ferro rod. So come along with me and I'm going to show y'all the different techniques. Quick piece of advice for anybody who is just getting started in camping, survival, etc., whatever category you want to fit yourself into, and you are new to using ferro rods or anything of the sort. I recommend buying a cheap one to practice with, not for your pack, but to practice with, to practice the different techniques, the different variations of using it. You know, one that it's not gonna hurt your feelings if you burn through it and, you know, scrape it down to nothing. Okay, so cheap for practice. And then I recommend buying a quality, you know, more costly ferro rod for your pack, your bug out bag, your you know, fire kit, you know, to keep it in your pocket while you're out hiking, etc. Okay, now I say more costly, but they're really not costly at all. You know, this big old fat 8-inch by a 1/2-inch ferro rod here, which would be the ferro rod I will be using today to show you the different techniques, is $32, and it is made by a great company called Uberleben. Now you probably can't see that all that well. It's probably backwards because I had the camera facing towards me just so I can see my pretty face while I'm doing all this stuff. So yes, it is Uberleben. You can find them on Instagram. They do great videos showing off the products. You can find them on Amazon, where you may purchase their products, and everything through their website as well. So like I said, this one is $32 and it is rated for, what did they say, 25,000 strikes on it. And I can attest to that. I have had this ferro rod here for quite a few years now, and I have put it through its paces. And if you look closely, the difference in the front and the back, I've gotten quite a few strikes out of this, and we'll get thousands upon thousands more. So with that being said, I'm going to get down and show you all the different techniques. Alright, so the first technique that I like to use, and I think is the most common that everybody else uses, is the push strike. Alright, so for that, what I like to do is get my ferro rod stable, and so it's not going to move and it is stationary. I like to do that so that I can push all the sparks into one central location. Now, that is the one thing in common with all of these techniques, is that you are focusing where you place the sparks. All right, it is so common in so many videos that I see people do that they are just throwing sparks everywhere. Okay, the sparks are going all over the place, but it is more beneficial if you can focus the sparks. All right, so stabilize the ferro rod so that it cannot move, and take your striker or the back of your knife, whatever you are using. This comes with a striker, so I will be using that, and I highly recommend everybody just use the striker that comes with their ferro rod unless they have to. All right, so stabilize the ferro rod and push, push, push. Okay, so you are now getting all of those sparks, all of that heat in one central location. Okay, so before we move on to the next technique, that first technique, let me just say, I like to use that for when I am using like a heavier kind of tinder, like say fat wood or wood shavings or anything like that. Something that's, not going to get knocked over and thrown around. Okay, but if you are using a lighter tinder, like say leaves or brush or grasses or anything like that, the next technique, which I call the pull strike technique, is good for that. Okay, so pretty much it is the same thing that you just did, but in reverse. Instead of stabilizing the ferro rod, you're going to stabilize your striker or your knife or whatever you have, so that you can then pull the ferro rod back. Okay, and that is good for like dry grasses or leaves or anything, because the flat of the striker or your blade will then catch the sparks, and you can then, you know, throw them down onto your tinder. Okay, so again, stabilize your hand, okay, and pull the ferro rod. Now again, y'all can see it is all still centrally locating, all within an inch, inch and a half space is where the sparks are flying. Okay, which that means there is a lot of heat right there at that spot, and you should be able to get a fire there. Okay, so third and final technique I like to use when out in the bush, in the woods, whatever you want to call it. All right, I call it the hot spot. All right, and this technique I use for if my tinder source, whether that be leaves, wood shavings, whatever, is, you know, not exactly dry, but it is just a little too damp to, you know, ignite. So what you want to do is this is why I like to have a decent sized ferro rod, is that so I can choke up onto it and I can have the leverage and so on and so forth, is that you want to choke up on it, and the whole purpose of this is short, fast, hard strokes to create a lot of sparks, a lot of heat in a short amount of time to dry out just one part of that tinder, so that hopefully it ignites. So that being said, this is all you do. Again, choke up, stabilize the ferro rod, and let the sparks fly. Just back and forth. Now, as y'all can see, that was a lot of heat and a lot of sparks in one centralized little location. All right, so there we have it, folks. As a survivalist, these are the 3 techniques that I personally use when out in the woods, out camping, etc. And I highly recommend that everybody gets some practice with and gets comfortable using. Okay, that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Thank y'all for tuning and watching in. If you liked it and found it helpful, you know, like, subscribe, share the video, leave a friendly comment down below, anything that helps the YouTube algorithm. And that being said, thank y'all for watching. I'm Dave with Strongman Survival, and I'll see y'all on the next one.